What are you saying, bro? You ready for another lesson?
Man, I can't wait, man. It's been a while, So.
That's a screw.
You can even tell already, you know?
Hey, right rudder, that's it.
Wheel 01, you can backtrack now.
Need to be over the field in between the two.
Alright.
What do you know about increasing the angle of bank?
Full speed.
Exactly.
You're fine, you're on the centre line, and then suddenly you're not, bro.
It looks like you're in a grass bro.
That landing. Whew. I'm worn out.
Are you aiming to be a commercial pilot?
Yes, at some point.
Yes, so these calls, they have to be made in a commercial environment. Well done, mate. You're going to make a good commercial pilot.
Thank you.
I'll walk up behind the aircraft.
You're very behind the aircraft. We've got a fuel leak. Are we? Yeah.
By the way, go to the whiskey, sorry. The whiskey is quite strong. Mate, you're going to make a good commercial pilot.
You still have control.
No, you tell me when you want to take control. You tell me when you want to take control.
Ever? Do I have to?
Yes. Because I say so. Bear in mind, you're going to have to work with what you've got, normally. What do you need?
This one. I'll make use of what I've got.
Previously on Future Pilot 901.
Okay, how you feeling?
Feeling good?
Good. You're gonna go solo.
Okay. Student Will 08 is ready for departure. We are off.
Student moved out of the way. Surface wind is 330 at 9 knots. We've got one to vacate.
Student Will 08.
Charlie Kilo is right base, get out to land. Student Will 08, minute takes and well done.
This aircraft is so nice to fly with.
Yeah, very nice.
Pick a golf, clear to enter South Control airspace now in the climb task chute 3,000 feet, heading 090 degrees.
Yes, 3,000 feet is very nice and smooth.
Yeah.
It's not like in the cloud.
Golf, resume that location, Sierra November. December, the procedure report on localised established.
The whole point of getting your IMC is you fly clouds. That's sort of where we are roughly. See?
Okay.
So we came in for an approach on runway 23. We did a missed approach, and now we're being vectored around to do another approach into runway 23.
Ever since I was a kid, I had a dream of becoming a pilot, but could never afford it. One day I decided to stop making excuses, to sacrifice my comfort, to make my dream happen. My name is Dee, and this is my journey. This is Future Pilot 901.
Everybody got a dream. Listen to me. Everybody has a dream, but not everybody got a grind. You are where you are because of how you think. And if you were to change your thinking, you would change your world. Monday, I grind. Tuesday, I grind. Wednesday, I grind. Thursday, I grind. Friday, I grind. Saturday, I grind. Sunday, I grind. And that's why I'm here today. And listen to me, your problem is you're not grinding. You're not grinding. You're taking days off. Hear me, and hear me well. I want you to know that there are many of you who are not where you're supposed to be, not because you don't have what it takes to get there. You are not where you're supposed to be because your dreams and your grind are not congruent. Your dreams are big, your dreams are gigantic, and your grind is small. And I need you to do me a favor. I would prefer your dream be small and your grind be big, because if your grind is big, you could have, you could do, and you could be whatever you want to be. Everybody got a dream. Monday, I grind. Tuesday, I grind. Wednesday, I grind. Thursday, I grind. Friday, I grind. Saturday, I grind. Sunday, I grind. And that's why I'm here today. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. You are where you are because of how you think. Information changes situations. Knowledge is the new money. Get you some. One, two, three. Come on, 1, 2, 3. Knowledge is the new money. Get you some. Monday, I grind. Tuesday, I grind. Wednesday, I grind. Thursday, I grind. Friday, I grind. Saturday, I grind. Sunday, I grind. And that's why I'm here today.
Yes, yes, yes. What's up, people, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, aviators, aviation enthusiasts? Welcome to Future Pilot 901 Live, where we keep our fingers on the pulse of general aviation. This is your future captain speaking. My name is Dee, and this show is brought to you live every Monday on Kick and YouTube, 7 p.m. Zulu time. This is episode 19. Future Pilot 901 Live. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hey, happy new week. Happy new month. We made it. Happy new month, people. Yes. 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 All right, then. Enough of that. Enough of that. Shout out to Daniel in the chat, our first mod on YouTube. Daniel, I don't know if you were late. You were there in the latter stages of the last episode, but I made you a mod on YouTube. And then I was talking to Chaz like, "Where's Daniel? Where's Daniel?" And Daniel was not there. Daniel skipped out, showed his face and skipped out. But I hope you're good, brother. Listen, we're still waiting for your discount links for poolies. All right, we're waiting for your discount links. So whenever you're ready, send that through. Send that through because we want to share what you. We want to share what you got going on out there. Yeah. It's all good, man. It's all good. Life happens, man. It's what we do. I appreciate you passing through. Just drop the links, man, so people can get the discounts going. Get the discounts going. But yeah, I hope everyone is having a great start to the week so far. I won't lie. It's been a really nice start to. Actually, no, I'll tell a lie. It's been a lazy start to the week. Because my weekend was absolutely incredible, but also very busy. When I say very busy, in a good kind of way. I was out in Wales. Let's have a look at what I got up to in Wales. Where are ya? This was me. Just a couple of days ago. This was me out in Wales. It's beautiful. I love going to Wales every year. I love going to Wales. It's an opportunity to go hiking. Obviously, the over there, there's lots of mountains and stuff like that, hills and all of that. So I like to go on a nice hike when I go to Wales. And this is taken at the foot of what is the highest peak in South Wales, Pen y Fan. Look, hey, I'm not big on Welsh geography, but that's what I was told. All right, so I'm just telling you guys what I was told. But I was out there. It was good fun. Interestingly, I always find it a bit of like a psychological journey when I go to Wales. It's always a mental journey, right? I always think of pushing myself to the limit. I always think of pushing myself to achieve what I think I can't achieve. So this time around, it didn't let me down. I have to admit, it did not let me down. Because we were at the bottom. Now, when it starts off, it's relatively steep, all right, for the first part. Not steep as in you need your hands and feet. Steep as in you can feel that you're walking up an incline, all right? So as I'm walking up now, I start to feel my backache, my lower back, right? I'm carrying a backpack. I've got my hiking boots on, got my waterproofs. Hiking up the mountain, my lower back starts to hurt. And at that moment, you then think, oh man, should I quit? Is it going to be too much? Am I going to make it? You know, you ask yourself all these questions, right? And I was just like, forget it. Like, there's nothing that's going to stop me from getting to the top today. There's nothing that's going to stop me. So I had to hike through that. And funny enough, at some point, I had like a 30-second break. And then no more back issues. No back pain, nothing. And it just makes me wonder how many times when we start going after our goals, going after our dreams, we meet that initial challenge, that initial block, that initial things not working out how you hoped. And how many of us then think about giving up at that point? How many of us then think about just parking the dream instead of pushing through the pain? So when I go hiking, these are the things that I think about. It's always a psychological journey. And it was just a nice reminder that you set your goal, and whatever pain comes along the way, you have to push past the pain. It's kind of like going on a bear hunt. You guys ever come across the story going on a bear hunt? Going on a bear hunt? Have you ever come across that? Maybe I'll show you guys. Maybe I'll show you guys. So basically, it goes like this: we're going on a bear hunt. We're gonna catch a big one. What's a beautiful day. We're not scared. Uh-oh. Grass. Thick, long grass. We can't go over it. We can't go under it. Oh no, we've got to go through it. That's the motif in going on a bear hunt. And that's what I think about. When you're going after your goal, you can't go over it. You can't go over the challenge. You can't go under it. You have to go through it. And then we got to near the top. Actually, we got right to the top. It was cloudy. So we were actually in the cloud, could barely see anything. The wind is like whipping us and pushing us around. And then it was weird because it started raining in the cloud. And then the wind is like smacking. It must have been like the beginnings of hail or something, because the wind was like smacking those drops into my face. And so I kept on. It felt like I literally had 100 pins stuck into my face, right? Because of the wind just smacking it. And I couldn't tell, is just my face cold, or is it that my face is getting smacked by the wind? You know, it was crazy. It was crazy. I had to like cover my face. I had my glove on, cover my face, tried to breathe into my hand. I was like the whole time, you know. But yeah, it was a very interesting experience. Who's texting me? It was a very, very interesting psychological experience. I feel like it gave me a little bit of a boost, you know. It gave me a little bit of a boost and a reminder to push past the pain, push past the challenges. So I want to ask you guys a question as I wrap up this introductory as I wrap up this introduction section. I want to ask you guys a question. What do you think is the most important thing to develop? What do you think is the most important thing to develop? What do you think is the most important thing to develop? I'll wait. What's the most important thing to develop? Well, if you said discipline, you'd be wrong. You're kind of right, but you're also wrong. If you said a support network, you're wrong. You're kind of right, but you're kind of wrong. If you said a vision, you're even more right than most of those other answers, but close, very like you're right up against it, right? That's how close you are if you said vision. What I would argue is the most important thing to develop, no matter what you're doing. Because I know there's a bunch of people that watch this, most of whom are involved in aviation, some of whom are not involved in aviation. But we all have a dream. Like Eric Thomas said in the song I played earlier, it's a vibe. He said, everybody has a dream. We all have something that makes us alive, that dream, that vision, right? So what's the most important thing to develop? What is the most important thing to develop? I would argue the most important thing that you can develop isn't just your vision, isn't just a support network, isn't just your discipline, but it goes hand in hand with all of those things. It's your sense of identity, of who you are. Who are you? Not what do you do, who are you? Like what makes you you? That sense. And discipline goes hand in hand with that, because you then end up with answers like, I'm the type of person who. I'm the kind of person who always finds a way to improve myself. I'm the kind of person who might struggle at first, sometimes, but I bet you I'll figure a way through. I'm the type of person who, how would you finish that sentence for yourself? Just think about it for a second. If you had to complete that sentence for you, how would you end it? I'm the kind of person who never gives up. I'm the kind of person who won't stop until I achieve my goal. I'm the kind of person who, whatever it is, developing a sense of identity is what drives you. One of the most powerful psychological forces is the need, the drive to be consistent with who you believe you are. And so if you believe that you're trash, guess what? You'll find ways of being trash. If you believe that you're just not good at this kind of thing, you will find ways of not being good at this kind of thing. So work on your discipline, work on your vision. But whilst you're doing all of those things, make sure that you're allowing what you do to inform, or that you're discovering who you are within what you're doing. All right. You're discovering your sense of identity, because that you will carry with you no matter where you go. Relentless. I love it. I am the kind of person who is relentless. I love that, man. I love that. You know, there's a nice cycle between competence and confidence. The more competent you become at something, the more confidence you have. But the more confidence you have, the more competent you become, because you go into everything with just a sense of confidence. And so you perform better, right? So it's an interesting cycle, but I think it's important to, and so I chuck myself into these things, into like the hike in Wales, and I make myself do challenging things because I know that I discover myself on the other side of it. I know that I will come out with an I statement out of that. I didn't give up. Okay, so I'm the type of person that doesn't give up. There we go. You know, and sometimes you have to swallow a bitter pill. You know, you have to accept that maybe you're not so developed in an area, but just because you're not developed in an area and you're not good at something now doesn't mean you're never going to be good at it. I mean, at some point you were trash at walking. Did you know that? Did you know at some point you tried to walk and sometimes we forget this. We get older and we develop this ego and we think, oh, I have to be great at everything. Listen, people saw you pooing on yourself. And for some of you, somebody was lifting you with one leg as they tried to wipe you and all that kind of jazz. Listen, you have to allow yourself to fail. Remember, you were trash at walking, you were trash at going to the toilet. But look at you now. Look at you now. Look at you now. Look at you now. So you can do it. You can do it. I believe in you. I believe in you. I believe in you. All right. With all of that said, it's time to get going with the show tonight. It's time to get going with the show. Shout out to everyone in chat. Shout out to my new subscribers. Your support is always appreciated. So thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Right. What are we going to cover today? Well, we've got a few things to cover today. One of them will be, let's see. The Air Accident Investigation Branch have got an accident that they've published. The General Aviation Unit have got an update that they sent out from, so that's the CAA. So we're going to catch up on that. Of course, you know how it is. We talk about that shmoney, the money. Always talk about money. You know how it is. You know how it is. We've got to talk about money because money pays for flight training. So we need to talk about money. What else are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about some opportunities, what's coming up for Future Pilot 901 over the next couple of months, and some of the opportunities that are opening up that are very, very exciting. Speaking of opportunities that have opened up, do you know what? I won't, where are we? Stop sharing that. Stop sharing that. Let me show you guys an opportunity that has literally just opened up. It's like freshly opened up, like literally like less than a few days old type of opportunity. Check this out.
Shut unlocked, resisting upward pressure. Brakes and canopies closed and locked. Black cable on please.
The best part.
I can't see everything. Yeah, but everything, yeah.
I mean...
Oh, it was so fun. I felt like I learned so much in just a week.
Generally, it's been really nice actually to get to know new people.
A gliding scholarship.
A gliding scholarship.
And a scholarship.
Gliding scholarship.
Gliding scholarship.
Gliding scholarship by air pilots.
Yes, if you've not seen it, that's the gliding scholarship from the air pilots. They have opened the next round of applications. So if you are, I think it's 16 plus, and you are interested in getting into aviation, and you'd like to spend a week in the summer around like-minded people, enjoying aviation, learning how the gliding site works, doing some gliding flights, it's a really nice residency. So I would advise you to apply for that if that is your kind of thing. It's all covered. Accommodation is covered, food is covered for the whole week, and obviously your flying is covered, and you help out in the running of the gliding club, as well as get to do flights as well. In case you didn't know, as well, it's as well. Yo, can you react to the Swedish music video? What Swedish music video? What Swedish music video? I actually have a brother and family in Sweden. Send the link. Send the link. All right. So that's a new opportunity. If you hit PCL this past weekend, then you would know about the scholarships opening. So let me know. Let me know if you want any advice on. If you want any advice on application, I can't really say too much, but obviously I try and help as much as I can. Hit me up on the Instagram at FuturePilot91. All right. Loving the streams, D. To all aspiring pilots, student pilots, use code Oriaki. Is that how you say it? I might need a tutorial in saying that name. At checkout to save on Pooley's Academy and gear. Follow at Danny on final or Danny _on_ final on Instagram. Yeah, get your discount code, man. Let me have a look. Let me have a look at this. Let me go to the Pooley's website now because we're going to test this out. Let's see. Let's go. Pooley's. Pilot supplies. Let's have a look. Guys, I would suggest you screenshot that discount code if you know what's good for you. Screenshot that. I'm just going to chuck any old thing into the basket and see what happens. See what happens. Oh, wallet organizer. Okay, I'm finding a few things that are not actually available. Funny enough. Okay, 30-page wallet. Let's go. Checkout. Is that where I go next? Oh, I need to register for an account. Okay. Oh, rhymes with teriyaki. Oriaki. All right, got you. Nice one, mate. Yeah, so if you want to get your discounts, that gives you a discount code for Pooley's and use code Oriaki, ORIAKHI. All right, on checkout to save. How's it so far? It's going grand, man. It's going grand. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Okay, so check out Jay. Check out what's going to happen to you. Give me just a second, Jay. Let me just. I'm going to show you what happens to people who drop the kind of messages that you drop. Let me just give me a second. You give me a second, y'all. Let me just show you. Let me just show you, mister. Let me just show you, mate. Let me just show you. And you, sir, have just been banned. It's a vicious cold world, man. Vicious cold world. That's how it goes out here in the streets. Be careful, man. Be careful. Be careful what you post because you could get banned. All righty then. All right. So let's get on with this. Let's go. So, by the way, I've told you guys before, but I'm very excited about the new year. We're going to have some actually, no, not new developments. We're going to have a brand new setup for the new year. It's going to be amazing. We're going to start the year with a bang. So from January the 5th, that whole week, Monday to Friday, is going to be every day, 7 p.m. live stream. I'm going to have different guests on. Mo said he's willing to come back. Shout out to Mo. Mo, the steady athlete, is going to be joining us. So we're going to have a personal trainer, fitness coach, and sports therapist, Mo, coming back because I know what's going to happen to you guys over the holidays. And me too. We're going to eat way too much, move way too little, and then, midnight is going to hit on the 1st of January and we're going to want to have our health goals back on track. So that's why I've got Mo coming round. I've got a flight instructor that's going to pass through. Got potentially a psychotherapist that's going to pass through because we need to fix what's in between our ears in order to be successful. So that could be a very interesting conversation. Of course, you can send your questions In fact, I might even allow people, I might even open up a link for you to call in to the show. And you can call in with video or just audio, up to you. But I might just open that up. Okay. That would be really cool. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Watch this space. Probably mid-December, I'll start announcing who has been confirmed. But definitely looking forward to that. All right. All righty then. I'm still wanting to find a day for the stream for flight sim stream. Definitely need to find a day for that. I keep thinking maybe we'll do Sunday evening, but sometimes I teach salsa in Sunday evenings, and I will. At the moment, I'm on a break, but I'll probably go back to it within the next 4 months. Then I was thinking maybe I'll do Saturday evening. But then I'm like, sometimes I'm busy Saturday evening. If you know what I mean. Then I thought Saturday morning. I was like, sometimes I'm busy Saturday morning as well, because sometimes I do filming. Like this Saturday, I'm back to filming some of the past masters of the air pilots, because we're on the countdown to the centenary year, or 100 years of having the company of air pilots. So I'm filming them. So I'm sometimes off on a Saturday morning. Then I thought Friday evening, but Friday evening, same problem as Saturday evening. So yeah, it's a work in progress, but I will find a day to stream, live stream flight sim, live stream flat. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait. Guys, this here is epic. Shout out to Flash Titan 97. We have a gifted sub. Shout out to you. Thank you very much for the gifted sub. Thank you for supporting the show. Respect, much respect. Shout out to Flash Titan 97 for the gifted sub. Shout out to you, man. Much appreciated. Alrighty then. Let's get on with the show. Coolio. So, some of you know, we've been talking about this book, Performance Pilot. But before we talk about the book, I want to show you guys something. But this is all around improving performance. Now, my focus is always improving my performance as a pilot, primarily. But you can apply these principles to anything, all right? To anything, any area that you're in. I want us to watch a couple of videos, and I want you guys to tell me what you notice, all right? You should know who these people are. If you don't, I'll be praying for you, all right? I'll be praying for you. So let's have a look. Let's have a look at these videos, and I want you guys to see what you notice. What do you notice? All right. Check this out.
Fantastic to see. Well, of all of Phelps's gold medals he's won, this that he won 4 years ago was the tightest. 4/100ths of a second he won. Crocker won it.
Okay, I want you guys to know. I want you to notice who is next to him.
Crocker was second. Crocker won 4 years ago was the tightest.
Next to this incredible Olympian. Okay.
Fantastic to see.
So that's Phelps. Look at this person, white cap,
that he won 4 years ago was the tightest.
black,
4/100ths of a second he won.
swimming bottoms. Yeah, notice, very important. Because I'm going to show you guys the next video.
Phelps's gold medals he's won. This that he won 4 years ago was the tightest. 4/100ths of a second he won. Crocker won it.
All right, let's have a look at this one. Check this out. This out, same person. Watch it. Now, in this video, just so you know it's a different video, the person next to him is wearing orange. Here we go. Won't be the same video. Right. What did you notice? What did you notice? Well, one of the things that it talks about in this book, in terms of improving your performance, in terms of taking your performance to the next level, whether it's for an assessment that's coming up, or whether it's for a competition, or whether it's flying passengers, or whatever it is, in terms of improving your performance, that you need to get yourself in the performance state of mind. And there are people who are very conscious about getting themselves in a performance state of mind. And there are people who wait for it to happen by fluke. But one of the ways in which you can get yourself into a performance state of mind is by having a ritual. It's by having a ritual. And that ritual is specific to you and puts you in the zone. Do you have a ritual? Right? Because one of the things in this chapter, performance state of mind, is the idea that practice is mental programming, right? Essentially, what you practice kind of becomes like an app in your brain. But here's the thing. Most of us have smartphones now, right? For you to access an app, you can have an app on your phone, but never access it. I don't know if you guys have ever had that feeling where you know you can do something, but for some reason, you just can't access it in the moment. You know that you have the ability to do really well at the interview, but for some reason, you get there and you just can't access it. You know that you can talk and express yourself and tell stories and get your point across in a way that people understand. But you stand up in front of people and you just can't access it. And so one of the things that this book should suggest, and this book has been co-signed by a bunch of people, you know, in different areas within the aviation industry, whether competition, commercial, or military. And one of the ideas they suggest is having a trigger for that, which is basically tap, tap, double tap to access that part of you. And rituals are really important. Having something that you do before every interview, having something you do before every flight, having something you do before every competition, that ritual puts you in a performance state of mind. Do you have a ritual that you use? So I need to be developing my ritual. And that's a challenge that I've set myself up, is to find my ritual. Now, with that in mind, let's watch this guy one more time. And now you will see his ritual. And I don't know, there's something in my brain that loves to imitate people who are really good at what they do. And whenever I imitated him, I found myself doing this ritual. Watch it.
There's Phelps looking at Cabbage. It's a
So
shame
he
that we haven't seen them
stretches,
looking at each other because
hand,
they're
wrist,
facing off, which is fantastic to
left
see.
arm wobble,
Well,
steps
all
up,
of
wipes
Phelps'
his
gold
hand
medals he's
on
won.
his bum,
This, that he won 4 years ago,
stretches
was the tightest
over,
4/100ths
flap
of a second
1,
he won.
2, and
Crocker
3.
won it.
Very specific.
Phelps won
Now,
it.
how specific is it? You're gonna have to watch the next video to see just how specific it is. Check this out. Okay, watch it. Left hand, left arm wobble. Steps on top, wipes his hand on his bum, stretches over, and flap 1, 2, and they cut it. There's a 3. Very specific, man. Super specific. Ritual. Get yourself in a performance state of mind. This is what the most successful Olympian is doing. In fact, one of my favorites of all time. Check this out.
You would not bet a penny against him dispatching this into the net.
I don't think on this type of free kick his conversion rate's brilliant, but every now and again one just flies in the top corner. Like that.
You would not bet a penny against him dispatching this into the net.
I don't think on this type of free kick his conversion rate's brilliant, but every now and again one just flies in the top corner. Like that.
You practice it, and then in the moment, you access what you practiced by using your ritual, by having your ritual as the trigger, right? Anybody who watches CR7, you know what he does. Steps right up to the ball, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. He might have changed it slightly now. Deep breath. Boom. Tap, tap, double tap, access the code, access the app. So there's something to think about if you want to improve your performance. Certainly, that's the idea from this. So I'm going to go through a bit this. I'm going to go through this chapter and see what else we can pick out. But that's something that stood out to me that is really, really important. But we don't do it. It's so easy to not do it and to just fluke it, right? It's so easy to not pay attention to how we go into stuff, right? So let's have a look. Let's have a look. Where is stop sharing that screen? And I want to share this instead. Where is this? What you guys been up to this weekend anyway? What have you guys been up to this weekend? What have you been up to this weekend? Let's see. Nope, not that one. Yes, this one. What have you been up to this weekend? Right, let's have a look. Let's go here and let's share that. And I'm going to share with you some more principles that I've picked up from this book. All right. Let's go here. Let's chop it that way. That way you get the best of both worlds. All right, cool. So performance prompts. Performance tips. Replay past successes to trigger a performance state of mind. Replay past successes to trigger a performance state of mind. Interestingly, what they talk about in the book is that your past success doesn't even have to be related to what you're about to do. So, for example, Cristiano Ronaldo about to score a free kick, he doesn't even need to just imagine the previous success taking a free kick. Or if you're going to do an interview, you don't need to think about a previous successful interview. You just need previous success because of how it rewires your brain, how it puts you in a positive state. Taking 1 minute just to replay a previous success that means something to you in any area. So bank that for next time you have your interview. As we're about to do, British Airways will probably open in maybe February, March time. If you know when, drop it in the chat. But we're soon coming to the season for airline sponsored scheme programs, right? So we're going to be needing to perform at our best. So just remember, before you even get to that, just take a moment, replay a previous success to trigger a performance state of mind. Another thing that I thought was interesting. So I'll tell you guys a story about this actually. Here's a performance tip. Replace negatively phrased instructions and thoughts with positively framed ones. Focus on what you want. Now, I've worked with children and I've been trained to work with children, particularly those who've got challenging behaviors. Check this out. What people normally do, and this is very human, by the way, but being successful sometimes can be counterintuitive. It feels like it's the opposite to what you would naturally do, right? Which is the definition of not being average, because average is what you would probably naturally do. So being successful makes sense that will require you to not be average. That require you to do some things in the opposite way to what you would do. Now, most people, when we're working with children, what do? We tell a child what not to do. Stop jumping. Stop running. In fact, because I work in schools, I'm not going to tell you exactly what I do because I know what the internet's like. I work in schools. I'm not school staff, but I visit different schools, okay? And I saw a member of staff pass by, kind of showing this big sign that they had made. And that sign said, "Stop running." And they're going to put that in the playground or whatever for when people go in and, children get picked up from at the end of school. And when they're coming in, they don't want them to run. So they say, "Don't run." Big sign, very proud of it. And I looked at it and I was like, okay, as a child, I could look at that and be like, okay, cool. So I can cartwheel because technically I'm not running. I can drop down and roll because I'm not running. I can jump the whole way because I'm not running. I can, roly poly around and do teddy bear rolls because I'm not running. None of those is running. And most people, it's so natural to say, "Don't run," to say, "Don't mess this up," to say, "Don't look here." When you're talking about flying, to say, "Oh, don't focus on this," or "Don't mess up the landing." Funny enough, I'm not going to say who because I don't want to embarrass him, okay? But I was flying with a pilot once and we got on final. We were on final. And this guy goes to flare. And he says, "Don't F this up, don't F this up, don't F this up." I was like, yo. I was like, yo. I'm about to die. I was like, yo, relax, bro. Like, chill out, man. Don't F this up, don't F this up. Like, calm, like, reframe that. Very important. So, to the kid example, instead of saying "don't run," tell them what you want them to do. Walk calmly. See, if you had a big sign that said "walk calmly," great. It says exactly what you want. Okay? Walk calmly. Or when you're thinking about flying and you're talking to yourself, hey, be smooth. Instead of "don't F this up," be smooth. Tell yourself, be smooth. Tell yourself exactly what you want to see. All right. Nice and calm, nice and chilled. We're good. Speak to yourself in that way. It's more effective. It's more effective to tell yourself what you want to get out of yourself than to say the opposite. And it's also effective in other people, right? Because the last thing you want to do, and in fact, this is, I mean, you can test this if you want. Imagine you need to get somebody to move their seat, move from one seat to the other. Two ways you can approach it. Number one, you could say, you know, hey, excuse me, would you please move over to the next seat? Thank you so much. That's one. Or two, excuse me, look, I know this is going to be like a bit of an issue, right? But like, can you just move over to the next seat without making such a big deal of it? Right? You frame it like that, automatically the person you're talking to will likely, even if they didn't want to before, they will want to give you a hard time. So when you speak to people, make a reasonable request, but act as though they're going to comply with that request. They're actually more likely to comply with that request. Hey, could you hold this for me for a second? Thank you. You're probably going to hold it for me, right? So those tricks don't just work with other people, but they work with ourselves and tricking ourselves. All right. Hey, just go smooth with it. And I believe that my brain and my body will comply to that. You know, it will comply with that. And you're more likely for that talk to then be effective and positive. Just paraphrasing some of what this book says. Let's see if we can pick up another one. Performance tip: practice is programming. So make sure you practice how you want to perform. If you want to perform at 100% energy, practice at 100% energy. If you want to perform at 50% energy, practice at 50% energy, because whatever you practice is programming. And then your ritual that we talked about before is your trigger for accessing that programming. An interesting thought that came up later in that chapter is, think about this for a second. The times when you've performed at your best, whatever it is, maybe socially, and you were like funny and so engaged and people just enjoyed your jokes. Or when you asked somebody out and it was just vibing, you met a stranger and you flirted and it was just vibes the whole way. Or you had a check ride, or, you know, a skills check, and you were just super on point. Was it because you're trying really hard? Or is it because you were relaxed? Most likely, for me, I know when I've performed at my best, I wasn't even thinking, like I wasn't in my head about it. I just flowed. I was present, fully just there. You probably agree, right? If you disagree, let me know. But in the book, it makes the point that what we need to do is actually stop trying and just relax. And that's something I definitely need to work on more. And it's always going to be a work in progress, right? All right, shout out to you, man. See you next time. Thank you very much for passing through, man. Much love. Thank you for discount code. And I will pop the discount code back again. Thank you very much, man. Peace. So back to what we're talking about. You perform best when you're relaxed. You perform best when you're relaxing. So one of the things he talks about in the book is stop trying. Stop trying. Stop trying. You're trying too much. You're trying too hard. Just relax. Just chill out. Do your practice and then relax. Chill. Because better performance comes out of that. Now, some people are too relaxed, and so you need to amp yourself up a little bit, right? Because you're just too relaxed that you don't pay attention. So you might need to do some star jumps. You might need to do some push-ups. You might need to like tense your muscles, clench your fists, and just build up a little bit more tension inside of you because you're way too relaxed. Or a lot of people are usually quite tense. So you might need to do some breathing, maybe even some stretching to just bring it down, right? But that's some of the ideas that it talks about. And then the last performance tip is don't set expectations. Focus on the possibilities and your potential. Essentially, the tip before that, which is the one I really want to go into, is focus on your performance and the results will look after themselves. Focus on your performance and the results will look after themselves. Focus on the moment in front of you, not the future or the next thing. Focus on what you have in front of you. Just focus on that and let the result be whatever it is. It will take care of itself. Be in the moment like you were during that really successful moment you had. You are right there in the moment. Just be in the moment, focus on your performance, and let the results take care of itself. So, with that said, here's a time when I was focused on the moment and the results took care of themselves.
Come on. Well done.
I've always loved flying.
Hello. Under the radar. Come on. Well done.
And dancing, there's no denying. If only I could blend the two. I know what I'll do. I'll fly to a new place to dance with a new face. Enjoying the wings a private pilot license brings.
That was a little bit gusty.
Just made a no-fly decision.
Squawk constant duty, 3-call shore.
A different way to our build and advance.
2-0, join downwind.
I call it fly to dance.
4 flaps.
Ooh, nice one.
Flaps come up. Whoa, flight, man.
Foxtrot Sierra, welcome to shore.
We have everything in this flight, man.
Everything, bro.
Yes. 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 So, speaking of focusing on the performance and the results take care of itself, I like to do this as part of my practice because I'm going to be having one more go at one of the pilot cadet schemes. And this is the last time that I can have a go. So what I like to do is introduce some of those exercises into the show. So let's have a look. Here's one of the exercises. I don't know how much I can say. Oh, well, I'll just say it. I'll just say it and get myself in trouble. I'll just say it. I'll say it. No, I'm chicken. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. I won't say it. I won't ruin my chances. I don't know how much I'm allowed to say. But one of the companies, one of the airlines, major airlines, have this as not exactly like this, but it's one of the tests that they have on their assessment. So this is me practicing for it. Oh, before I do that, let's get some music going. Let's get some music going. If you joined last week, you know who the artist is. If you don't know, get to know. This is Tyrone. Where's Tyrone? Where's Tyrone? Oh, bro. They cloned Tyrone. Ha, 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 ha. Where is it? Okay. I added it, but it seems like it never could not add music. Try a track. Please try again or contact support. What? That is silly. There we go. Let's go. Oh, let's hit it.
I'm so sorry.
Of course it's not.
Yeah.
Ay, ay, ay. Okay. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. For some reason, this is not working. My VPN is not getting in the way. Is my internet getting in the way? But if my internet wasn't working, then you guys wouldn't be here. So my internet is working. So how about we just close that out, open a new one, and see how that goes. Still not working. Let's see. Internet's gone. Really? Is that what we're doing? Am I still live? Yeah. How am I still live with no internet? That's crazy, man. Do you know what? Might need to complain about this. Because this is wild. This is wild. All right, commercial break. If it even works. Let's see. Which one? Let's go to that one. This is actually hilarious. This is hilarious. I do not understand. One's in the chat if you can hear me. This is crazy. This is crazy. Literally, how am I streaming? And I ain't got internet. That's crazy. All right. Anyways, we're going to listen to the song. All right, thank you. Thank you. Shout out to girl like Fee. Queen Fee. Why? This is mad. But hey, the show must go on. Let's drop the vibes. Let's go. Music it is. Music it is. Where is it? Entertain yourselves a little bit while I try to fix this internet issue.
I'm so sorry. Yeah. Earth, brown, melanin,
Mercury, Soul Train, Coltan, down to the chorus also. Pure gold, mad mind, mad miners, Congo, mad miners, go home, iPhone. Bad apple, pure bodies dead, bad apple. The tree spoke from Ghana, them people, them Ghana. Shook that tree for a money maker. Sucks how I did wrong. Earth, if everybody's birth, then what's a pure body worth? My soul quiet earth. Brown, melanin, Mercury, Soul Train, Coltan, down to the course also. Pure gold, mad mind, mad miners, Congo, mad miners, go home, iPhone. Bad apple, pure bodies that bad apple. My tree spoke from Ghana. Now my people them Ghana. Now you shook that tree for a money maker, and it sucks how I did wrong. Oh earth, if everybody's birth, what's a pure body worth? I'm so sorry. Ear the at, ear the A-R-T-H, ear the at, ear T, hear T-H-E at, he at, he A-R-T, H-E-R the at, he-A-R the at, earth, brown, melanin, Mercury, Soul Train, Coltan, pure heart, hear the at, hear the A-R-T-H, hear the at, hear T, hat. There goes the sound of the underdog. See my dread, an underdog, you could be my dread. See my dread, sausage dog, you could be my dread. Against PITs, you've been barking mad, please be my guest. Nappy headed sirens scream, till they don't sound dear, no, I'm like this. Brown, melanin, Mercury, Soul Train, Coltan, down to the chorus also. Pure gold, mad mind, mad miners, Congo, mad miners, go home, iPhone. Bad apple, pure bodies dead, bad apple. My tree spoke from Ghana. Now my people them Ghana. Now you shook that tree for a money maker. Sucks how I did wrong. Oh earth, if everybody's birth, what's a pure body worth?
Yes, that was my boy Tyrone Isaac Stewart. Make sure you check him out on the Spotify, check him out on the YouTube. That was Pure Body, one of my favorite tracks. Also, you will see the comment below. That is from Daniel Oriaki. Shout out to you. Thank you for passing through. If you want to get a discount on Pooley's Academy and Pooley's Gear, then make sure you hit that code. Use the code Oriaki when you check out, and you can follow Daniel on Danny_on_final on Instagram for further discounts, because we love to hook our people up. So that is your hookup for tonight. So guys, this is the weirdest thing I've ever come across, because my internet is not working, but I'm live streaming. I don't know how that works. Crazy times. I can't figure out what to do, so we're just gonna carry on with the show until this whole thing falls apart. News on next week. Next week I'll be out getting that money working. So the show, I need to figure this out, but the show will probably be earlier in the day. Let's say an hour early, maybe, and it will be a shorter show because of that. So we'll be 6 p.m. Zulu or GMT or UTC instead of 7 p.m. So yeah, that's for next week, the 10th of November. Right. Since we've done all the funky stuff, it's time to get into the serious bag. Let's find out a bit more about what the CAA is saying for this week. Now, hopefully this works. Let's have a look. All right, so a document published recently, I got an email update. The General Aviation Strategy. Our GA vision. This is from the CAA, the Civil Aviation Authority, which is the regulating authority in the UK. The vision for GA, or general aviation, is a safe, innovative, and sustainable general aviation sector that thrives within a proportionate and supportive regulatory environment. That sounds good. Okay. The GA strategy focus areas: effective and proportionate safety standards, reduce regulation where appropriate, increase delegation, and improve proportionality, support innovation, sustainability, and enabling new technology, stakeholder engagement, and delivering service excellence. Okay, let's have a look at this box. Our general aviation strategy embeds the core principles of the overarching CAA strategy and tailors them to address the unique needs and challenges of the GA sector, or general aviation sector, whilst ensuring that the broader goals of the CAA are effectively implemented within the context of the GA operating environment. So there's something called the GAU, or the General Aviation Unit, which was formed 11 years ago. So that is, for people who love maths, 2014. 11 years ago, to reduce the regulatory burden on the GA sector, and much has been achieved in that time. We, the CAA, remain committed to the fundamental principles of regulating in proportion to risk, reducing regulation where appropriate, and delegating where we can. All right, let's have a look. Okay, you guys got that. You're seeing what I'm seeing, so that's good. Okay, the GA sector faces some notable challenges, including declining flying hours, a stagnating number of recreational pilot license holders, as well as an aging fleet of aircraft. Additionally, transitioning to new technologies such as advanced avionics, electric propulsion, and sustainable fuel presents challenges in terms of investment, training, and changes to regulation. However, these also present significant opportunities, including enhanced operational efficiency, improved safety, and greater sustainability, all of which could help rejuvenate the sector. We are committed to removing barriers to growth and will continue to engage with the GA community to address the challenges facing the sector and harness the potential of emerging opportunities to reinvigorate UKGA. And I think this is, demonstrated in how they released, effective 1st of October 2025, new guidance and regulation to do with cost sharing. Because the idea was, I think before that, I've only recently started paying attention to the things that they publish, the CAA publishes. But before, I remember hearing people talk about cost sharing and how the CAA is not quite, this is still something that is frowned upon, not sure about it. But the recent guidance that was published or effective from 1st of October 2025 was very clear that they want to encourage people to do cost sharing, which means being able to advertise a flight. By the way, I am on Wingly, so you can book me for a flight, but advertising for a flight that other people can join. Why? Because if other people can join a flight that is advertised, then the cost of flying actually goes down, because now multiple people are contributing to the cost. Now, they had to put out guidance on how they want that to happen, i.e., the pilot has to pay or contribute their equal share. There can't be an element of profit. The passengers have to be told that, of the risks of general aviation, that they're higher than in commercial air transport. The passengers have to sign a declaration form that they've been informed of all these things, and that, the pilot has to contribute at minimum their fair share of the cost of direct costs. So all of these guidance, it's very positive. It's, a clear green light to say to general aviation pilots, hey, go out there, post flights. So I've got a flight on Wingly, and the flight it was a bit of a copy and paste job, but the flight is starting from North Weald. And what we'll do is we'll fly over we'll do Stansted Transit, so you can see the Stansted runway with all the airliners landing and taking off. Go over that, land in Duxford. At Duxford, you get entry into the museum, which used to be called the Battle of Britain Museum, I think. But don't quote me on that, because I'm still learning all these things. But Imperial War Museum is what it's called now. Go there, you can see all the aircrafts, you can probably have lunch, and then we fly back again, transiting the Stansted airspace to give you that view and photos and videos and all that kind of stuff. So that flight exists on Wingly, and people who are like, oh, I want to go on a flight, I want to experience something different, can go into Wingly, book onto a flight with me. But if I fly with them, I have to contribute. But that's cheaper than me going on a flight on my own, and probably more interesting as well, because I get to give people an experience that they really want to have. So I would say that's very consistent, with what they're saying here, that they've actually made it, they've really given a green light, and looking to make GA, reinvigorate GA, basically. Because having all those barriers, it just prevents people from being able to fly as much as possible. But now, if we can advertise it, great, then people can have a fantastic experience and enjoy general aviation, which many people don't know much about. They only know airliners, and they're like, oh, you fly, so what kind of, do you fly into Heathrow? Do you fly, no, an airfield? So what kind of plane do you fly? Do you fly is it no, it's not an Airbus or a Boeing. It's something much better, a Piper or a Cessna. But yeah, this is good development, very good development, in my opinion, for whatever that's worth. Okay, CAA's growth duty, combined with our commitment to the principles of better regulation framework and the associated regulators code, ensure that we consider the economic impact of our actions and remain proportionate in our decision making to minimize regulatory burdens. Safety remains paramount, And the GA policy framework supports this by ensuring the regulatory interventions are evaluated against criteria that uphold a statutory responsibility while adhering to our fundamental principles. The vision and strategic focus areas for the CAA and the General Aviation Unit. Our vision is a safe, innovative, and sustainable GA sector that thrives within a supportive and proportionate regulatory environment. To achieve this vision, we have identified 4 strategic focus areas. Where are the 4? Effective and proportionate safety standards, reduce regulation where appropriate, increase delegation and improve proportionality, supporting innovation, sustainability, and enabling new technology. Stakeholder engagement, and delivering service excellence. We are committed to working closely with the GA community to drive continuous improvements and seize opportunities for growth and development. The revised GA strategy complements the wider CAA strategy and supports government aviation ambitions and focus on economic growth. Our strategy is not bound by a specific time frame and instead will be updated as and when required, ensuring we are agile and able to respond. To which I say, yes, that's definitely good stuff. Okay, so I think my internet might be back, or maybe it's not. I don't know. It's playing with me. It's toying with me. Again, how do I not have internet, but I'm still streaming? Crazy. All right, so that brings me to probably the last thing that we're going to cover today. Actually, tell a lie. We're gonna close out with money, talking about money. But first, before we get to talking about money, we have to cover this tragic thing that happened. Why? Because it helps us to think ahead in how we can avoid tragic situations in aviation. All right, let me find my bearings. PDF. All right, so the good thing is I've got 101 tabs and I had these tabs open from before. So even though my internet is playing about, I still have access. So I am grateful for that. So there we go. These are the 2 aircrafts we're looking at. They're gliders. Golf Delta Julia Mike Delta and Golf Delta Charlie Tango Bravo. From now on, I'll refer to them as Mike Delta and Tango Bravo. Okay, so what happened to these aircraft? Let's see if I've got the right thing open. Yes. I think I've got it here. Cool. So let me do it this way. Separate that, open that. Let's come back here. I swear this is a whole operation, you know, like stop sharing, share. It's a whole operation doing this. I can see why people have producers. Hey, Jamie, pull up that picture. If you don't know Jamie, Jamie's a legend, man. Jamie should be an AI, for real. Okay, so I think, there we go. I think we are on track. All right, so this was an accident involving Discus B Golf Mike Delta on the left and Standard Cirrus Golf Tango Bravo on the right. Okay, they both do not have engines. The one on the left, manufactured 1988. The one on the right, manufactured 1972. This accident happened on the 25th of May, 2024, about 2 p.m. in the afternoon at Hinton in the Hedges Airfield, Northamptonshire. The pilots were private pilots. There were only one person on board in each of the gliders. The one on the left suffered serious injuries that were fatal. The one on the right had serious injuries. There were no passengers. Impact. Nature of the damage was, for the glider on the left, impact damage to the lower forward fuselage, tailplane, and wings, and broken canopy. And the one to the right was impact damage due to fuselage, impact damage to fuselage and tail, broken canopy, damage to tailplane, wing leading edges, wing surfaces, and wing tips. But again, the one on the left led to a fatality, or the pilot from the glider to the left suffered a fatality, unfortunately, and the pilot of the glider to the right suffered serious injuries. Let's get to know a bit more about what happened here. So the one who suffered the fatality, who passed away from this, is 45-year-old with 129 total hours, 43 on this type. And the one to the right has 104 hours because they were seriously injured, 104 hours and 4 on type. And the information source is the AAIB, or the Air Accident Investigation Branch Field Investigation. Synopsis, I will read. Both had BGA gliding certificates, bronze and cross-country endorsements, and silver badge, by the way. So, synopsis. Having completed their flying task in a local club competition, gliders Mike Delta and Tango Bravo returned to Hinton in the Hedges airfield, and both aircraft maneuvered to the northeast of the airfield in preparation for an approach to land. So this is Hinton on the Hedges airfield, and they're to the northwest, both of them in preparation to land. The competition required pilots to report their position on the radio when downwind and when on final, but neither pilot was heard to do so, meaning a critical opportunity to alter the outcome was missed, and they remained unaware of each other's presence until they collided on short final. The pilot of Tango Bravo, which was the glider to the right, suffered serious injuries. The pilot of Mike Delta was struck by Tango Bravo's wingtip during the collision, and the glider then struck the ground in an inverted attitude. The pilot of Mike Delta suffered fatal injuries. The investigation identified the following causal factor related to the collision. The pilots did not effectively communicate their location and intention on the radio, and the unalerted see and avoid principle was insufficient for either of them to be aware of the presence of the other in time to take avoiding action. So as you can see on this image, this is T minus 2 minutes. Thus their position, Tango Bravo, Mike Delta. T minus 60 seconds. They're both essentially going to about to join a base, I guess. T minus 45. You can see Mike Delta is ahead, Tango Bravo is behind. 500 feet. So Mike Delta is above. Should that aircraft have been visible by then to the one behind? Don't know. Here, as you can see, Tango Bravo starts to cut in towards the airfield. Mike Delta is further down and probably more aligned, I would say Mike Delta is. Tango Bravo is now lower, still lower, shall I say. Mike Delta is higher, so harder for Mike Delta to see probably. And then that's last data points before they collide right on final, basically, it looks like. All right, so let's go back to what the investigation document says. The investigation made the following findings. When an aeronautical radio station is licensed and approved to provide an air-ground communication service, the service must be provided inside published hours, unless promulgated otherwise by NOTAM or other suitable means. Glider pilots must hold a flight radio telephony operating license if they communicate with an air traffic control or flight information unit or an air-ground communication service. That's probably training to ensure that, there's some things to understand about using the radio. And usually with a PPL license, that is part and parcel. You have to do a radio telephony exam and get a radio telephony license. Whereas I imagine with gliding, not necessarily, but this is one of the findings clearly that they've found. Safety action was taken by Civil Aviation Authority to remind radio licensees of their obligation to provide the service provided on their license and to ensure that approvals under the air navigation order accurately reflected the responsibility of the license holders. BGA, or the British Gliding Association, to promulgate information on the avoidance of mid-air collisions, and respective gliding pilots to clarify the requirements for use of radios by pilots. Okay, so it sounds like it was the whole thing. The main thing was not making the radio calls, which then leads to this. And it's amazing. If you want to read the whole document, I'll put it in the chat right now. It's a 28-page document, but obviously you can speed through bits of it and go through bits of it. There is this in the chat. Yeah, it's amazing because sometimes in aviation, you can think, yeah, this is a small thing. And this is where the Swiss cheese model comes in, where it wouldn't have been just one thing that went wrong. It would have been several things lining up, which on their own could be like, oh, well, I didn't make a radio call. All right, no big deal. We can see and avoid anyway, right? But this just happened to be one of those times when all the dots just aligned, the terrible dots aligned. And that little one thing that could have changed the course of what happened, the course of events, that one thing not happening then led to these serious injuries, and one of which was a fatality. So it's these things are reminders to not be complacent in any way, shape, or form, to be on top of our checklist, to be on top of our communication, be on top of how we do what we do, because every time we take flight, in fact, every time you just live, you leave your house, you drive, you get in a plane, not only are you putting yourself at risk, but you have to be aware that what you do can be a risk to others who might not know what you're doing, right? And so it's important to not get complacent, and it's important to follow the guidance, unless for safety reasons you have to deviate, in which case you can make an argument. Hey, look, in this case, the regulations, whatever, the air law would not have been the safe thing to do. And so I deviated from it in order to, I deviated from the usual practice and decided to land in the Hudson, for example, because in this case, I figured that that was the safest thing to do. And that's very, very different to being careless. That's being careful. And maybe you made the wrong decision, but it was thought through, right? It was considered. So it's really important to not be complacent. Anyways, that's just a reminder to myself. You know, I like to look at these things to remind myself, because yeah, every time I get in an aircraft, especially when I get in with other people, but even if I don't, if you put the aircraft down in the wrong place, you could be changing somebody's life, and not in the right kind of way. So it's very important to be safe. So if you want to see more of that, you want to read more on that, please go and read. I'll probably take some time to delve deeper into it. And if I find anything that I would like to highlight some more, then I will bring it back to the show next week. But for now, I am happy to leave it there. I'm happy to leave it there. And this would be the point when I would go to a commercial break. But for some reason, my internet's not working properly. And so I can't go to a commercial break. Let me see. Shall I attempt it? I'll attempt it. Let me see. Unable to share the screen. Oh, come on. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Come on. Come on. You can do this. You can do this. Let's have a look.
1, we'd like to back up to the Will 01, is that Bravo 1? Bravo 1, we'd like to back up to the RP, please.
Will 01, nothing to affect your backtrack to RP.
Roger, backtracking, Will 01.
Well, you knew what you meant.
This has to be the weirdest experience I've had on the internet. It's crazy. I don't have internet, but I'm streaming and can't do anything else. That's wild. That's wild. So I wanted to talk about money. I said that, I want to encourage people to start investing money. Why? Because investing is a great way to build wealth. And there are ways to invest to be low risk, but have higher rewards than what you might in a savings account, or even just holding on to cash, especially if we're talking about being able to afford flight training, which can be costly. It's very important to maybe consider how we use our money. So one of the things I want to do is literally on this show, I'm going to open an investment account, which I've already done with Robinhood. I just need to do some background confirmation. And what I'll do every week, my aim is to live while I'm here, start investing. And the reason why I want to do that is because I want to get people, I wish I was exposed to it a lot earlier, right? Because the earlier you get, or the longer you stay in the game, the bigger your gains. The longer you're in the game, the bigger your gain. All right. So I want to show you guys that so that you can actually see somebody doing it. Maybe you've not thought about investing before. Well, now you can just get to see me do it live. And hopefully that will give you some encouragement to try it out. Maybe you might have some questions. Hey, it's not financial advice. Can't tell you what to do. Ultimately, your capital, your money is at risk. But if you don't risk, you can't get the reward. And let me see if I can show you guys. Let me see. That's not what I want to show. That's not what I want to show. Yeah, it's not going to load, is it? Yeah, it's not going to load. There's no point. It's not going to load. It's not going to load. So I can't show you guys this week anyway. It's going to have to be next week. It's going to have to be next week. But yeah, you will see me invest. You will see whether I'm making profits or losses. And hopefully, yeah, we'll see. Maybe I might fund the rest of my fight training with that. That would be pretty cool. Cool story to tell. Anyways, that's brought me to the end of the show. Where is what's his name? Ayub. Ayub is missing today. Might have to send search and rescue for Ayub. I'll drop him an email actually, because I've got an email for Ayub. So in wrapping up the show, just shout out to everyone who decided to take their very valuable time and spend some of that with me. Thank you to Daniel for passing by. Shout out to you. And Daniel came bearing gifts. He came bearing gifts, guys. He came bearing gifts. Okay. And what gifts did he come bearing? I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked. What gifts did he come bearing? This is the gift. This is the gift. He's given you a code. A code if you want to buy yourself some aviation gear. You want to buy yourself into the Police Academy so that you can study your theory exams for your private pilot's license. I don't know if they do the other licenses as well. But yeah, this is where you can buy it, and you get a discount code. That use the code ORIAKI or ORIAKHI if you want it in the phonetic alphabet. Oscar Romeo India Alpha Kilo Hotel India. Get yourself, bag yourself that that discount. Bag yourself the discount whilst you can, because Daniel is an ambassador for Poolies. Shout out to the Poolies family. Really cool people. All right. Shout out to other people who joined the show. Jay got banned, so so I don't know what I can say to Jay other than Flash Titan, Flash Titan, Flash Titan, Flash Titan. Why am I saying Flash Titan so many times? Because Flash Titan dropped our first ever, not super chat. It was a gifted sub on Kick. Shout out to Flash Titan. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, sir. In fact, what I'm going to do is go to Flash Titan now. I can't because my internet's not working. That's really annoying. Let me see. Can I do it now? Can I do it now? No. But what I'll do is next time, Flash Titan, I'm going to give him an MVP badge because he was an MVP. He or she were an MVP today. Thank you very much for your contribution. Thank you very much for keeping our dream going. Shout out to Queen Fee for passing through. Shout out to you, making sure that we're all good on the sound side of things. Shout out to Ali Muhammad Mehani. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but Ali, shout out to you. Thank you for passing by. And hello. Cool. Well, I think that is everybody. I appreciate your time. I appreciate having you on this new month, new week, enjoying this time learning together. I hope you got something useful. And if you didn't get something useful, it's because you weren't paying attention. Yeah. Because I definitely learned something useful and I was speaking. So if you didn't learn something useful, you were not paying attention. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right, people. Well, guess what you should do? If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button on the YouTube. Hit the thumbs up. Come on, guys. Support the channel. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. Drop a comment. Let me know what you like, what you didn't like. I mean, Even drop a comment and cuss me out if you like. I don't mind. Just comment. Look, any attention is good attention. Just cuss me out in the comment or something. All right. Say something irrelevant, like talk about teddy bears or something. I don't care. Just drop a comment. Drop a comment. Remember, mental imagery plus awareness equals performance. If you want to improve your performance, have a perfect picture in your mind, then develop your awareness of what you're doing in the moment, and those two put together will increase your performance. If you want to hit me up, you got any inquiries, this is where you hit me up, d@futurepilot901.com. Whilst you're there, if you've never read the blog, take yourself to futurepilot901.com to browse some of the blogs that I've got on there. I haven't written a blog for a while, but everything on there is pretty timeless. So make sure you check that out. Of course, we are on the YouTube, Future Pilot 901 on the YouTube. Make sure you hit us there. But remember, the show is live on Kick and on YouTube. So if you're on Kick, happy days, happy days. You can stay right where you are. All right, people. Well, with that said, I hope you have a fantastic week. I hope that you have a very productive week. And I hope you'll join us next week. Until next time, this is Future Pilot 901. And I'm your future captain. My name is Dee, reminding you to live your dreams. Peace. Guys, I don't mean to be, how do I say this? I need you to understand. I need you to understand that English is not my first language. I was born in Congo. I grew up in Kenya, and they speak English in Kenya, but ignore that. English is not my first language. And every now and then my African accent comes out. And when it does, and I say something that sounds wrong, just look the other way, okay? Just act like you never heard it. So let's run that one more time. This is Future Pilot 901. I'm your future captain. My name is Dee. Reminding you to live your dreams. Peace.
Man, from living in my car to finally getting my trial flight done.
Hold it.